Good evening, everybody. Okay, it is 4 o'clock. I now call this meeting to order. Ms. Delgado, can you please take roll call?
Board President Murillo,
Present.
Board Vice President Lira,
Present.
Board Secretary Rodriguez,
Present.
Board Member Flores.
Present.
Madam President, we have established quorum.
Thank you. Before we move on to the Pledge of Allegiance, can I have a motion to remove action item 7A, the special board meeting for July 20th, 2025? It was a mistake on the date. It was supposed to be today, so we just need to remove it out of the agenda.
So, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we remove action item 7A from our agenda.
Okay, Ms. Flores has made a motion to remove action 7A. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge of allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Okay, moving on to open forum. Do we have an open forum?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, moving on to the explanation, to item 4, explanation of interview process. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little statement here. As president officer of this board meeting and selection process, I don't want any candidate to have an unfair advantage or disadvantage due to the order of questions and answers. I want to allow the board members the best opportunity for candidates to answer board questions without influence from the responses of other candidates. In my opinion, the best way to accomplish this is to have all candidates taken to conference room 3 with Ms. 14 to respectfully share that space and converse as they wish until each candidate is picked at random and called into the boardroom for their interview. I ask that they turn off their cell phones or other electronic devices and refrain from using them until their interview is complete. Keep in mind that Ms. Forte will have in conference room 3 with candidates. Those present in the room will hold each other accountable. A candidate who is reported to have accessed the internet or to have communicated with people outside of conference room 3 will be disqualified from the process. Vice President Lira has every candidate's name written on strips of paper folded. Yes? You have that? Okay. Folded identically in a bowl. He will help the board to start the interviews by choosing one candidate's name from the bowl. The candidate whose name is picked will be invited to the podium while the rest of the candidates are taken to conference room 3. The candidate at the podium will be presented a printout of the questions and given 3 minutes to gather their thoughts. Then the candidate will be given 3 minutes to make an opening statement. Next, Board Member Flores, Secretary Rodriguez, Vice President Lira, and me, in that order, will ask the candidates her or his questions, and the candidate will have 3 minutes of time to respond after each question is asked. Finally, the candidate will be given 3 minutes to make a closing statement. When Ms. Forte calls the next candidate's name, Mr. Ortega will escort the next candidate to the boardroom for their turn before the board. After the candidate provides their opening and closing statement and answers the board questions, they may sit quietly among the audience to watch the duration of the meeting, and they will regain access to their cell phone. At the completion of after the completion of interviews for all candidates are welcome to remain in the boardroom while the board moves on to discussion and possible action to select a new board member from among the qualified applicants. Upon completion of the final interview, myself, board members, now that the interview are complete, I will give you a few minutes to rank the candidates. And then I will now ask board members to state their rankings from 1 to 4, with 1 being your first choice and 4 being your last choice. We will then tally the rankings, and the qualified candidate who receives the lowest ranking will be named to fill the vacancy on the board. If there's a tie, then I will ask the board to re-rank just those candidates who with a tie score and state the re-ranking of those candidates. Okay, moving on to 5. So we're gonna now going to interview candidates for Gadsden ISD Board of Education position 4. Candidates interview one at a time. 5A, qualified candidate presented with interview questions for review, 3 minutes. So, do we want to do the tallies?
Sorry, I'm lost.
To the gun. Okay, sir, yeah. Rogelio Maldonado, it's in, right here, the town. Mr. Maldonado, do you have a list of the questions? Does he have the list of the questions?
There's a taped document
it is
here.
right? Okay, yes.
Understanding the committee needs and students' achievements? Okay.
Just for the record, for the board members, for him, Mr. Maldonado, if you can get closer, so people in the audience can hear you better. And then also, fellow board members, if you guys want to have, ask questions, please do so, but just make sure to ask the same question to all candidates to make it fair, okay?
Madam President,
For now, it's only gonna be these.
Yes, sir. Yes, Ms. Flores?
can they adjust that, like for his height? Or you can adjust it, so I think, so that you don't have to be bending down, I think, or is it?
I think that was it, right?
Oh, so he,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sounds good. So if you want to start with an opening statement?
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes, sorry.
Thank you. I'm just going to give a quick bio of my history and what I've done. So I'm a retired military, 24 years. I've been retired for 13 years in the community area. During my military time, I was considered what they call an instructor, a teacher. I worked with units deployed in New Mexico, Texas, Arkansas, and Missouri. My responsibility was to train them and get them familiar with the cultures in that area. The early 90s, part of my military career, I supported the Gadsden district when we started the DARE program. Mr. Ed Syme was one of the pilot programs that we worked with the state of New Mexico, with the military integrating with the war on drugs. Later in 2010, 2008 and 2010, I deployed with NATO. Part of my NATO role for 2 years was developing a community, which pretty much they're known as county. Over there, they're known as parish. I oversaw the education, the law enforcement, the medical, and the development of 2 countries, Albanian and Serbian, and how to work a relationship with the youth and the community. After leaving my military career, I spent 13 years in the community here. I worked with the schools on the pilot program, starting the food bank with Ms. Rosalie and some of the organizations in Chaparral and Anthony Church and the Gadsden High School. My veterans, I got them involved to support and help the community. In the early 2020, we developed an after-school program that 3 elementaries got involved in the school. It was non-cost to the kids or the school. Veterans with the MLB Baseball Association funded everything else to involve a program, volunteer after school for kids to support. During that year, for the next 3 years, I developed a youth program, which we call the Little Hawks for the Gadsden little area. The high school worked with me with some of the equipment. They utilized some of the field for me to work with the kids to work on, and I oversaw that for 3 years. One of the other things I was involved with is Career Day. We continue to support the schools especially Chaparral, Anthony area. Sunland and Santa Teresa I haven't been too much involved with. We get veterans and we talked about our career time that we did and kind of motivate the kids the importance of the education and their physical fitness of what they need to do to accomplish that. One of the things that we provided in the organizations that I was involved is we worked with the Voice of Democracy, Patriots Pin, and Teachers Award, trying to recognize students for scholarships in this area. The last 2 years, it was not implemented in this area because at that time I got relocated to Hatch. I took the commander position in Hatch, which Hatch now has been very successful with scholarship programs that we could provide with veterans organizations. I belong to 3 different veterans organizations. I was the state representative from 2020 to 2022 for the Veterans of Foreign War. I was their voice in state and Congress. After that, I've left. I've been with the American Legion and DAV. The reason I work with these veterans organizations, I am the outreach forum for veterans claims, benefits, and then working with the families to redevelop mental health and PTSD. One of the other things that I've been involved.
Mr. Maldonado, your time is up.
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
No problem.
And just to clarify, I apologize, I did things backwards. So you started with opening statement. You have 3 minutes to review your questions. Okay, so we'll put the time up again for 3 minutes so you can review those, and then we'll start. With that, I am going to give you this too. This is the list of the events and meetings that we attend as a board.
Okay, I'll grab that.
Sorry, can you restart the time? Yes, please.
Each questions will be
Thank you.
given 3 minutes, or all these questions are within the 3 minutes?
Just to review 3 minutes.
3 minutes,
Yeah.
okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so it is 3 minutes per question.
Okay.
So you have 3 minutes to answer each question.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you, thank you,
And then you have 3 minutes to do your closing statement as well. Okay?
thank you.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll start with the first one, Ms. Flores.
What do you believe are the most pressing educational needs or challenges facing students and families in District 4? And how would you advocate for them as a board member?
Given the chance and working with some of the programs in the community, when I talk to kids and I try to encourage them about schools, one of the things I always talk about their shortness or the challenge that they have. Some of the times they state is the being involved in the class. How, you know, they have teachers, but the involvement's not there for them. And that's been addressed to me a couple of times. But I tell them that sometimes it's also the student itself, the questions they have to lead and ask for the involvement. So, you know, I think if we look at it, not to recreate everything, it's always been an educational thing with the teachers of involvement with the students, asking different questions, getting them, and I utilize that in the military, is kind of we repeat back what I said. I teach something, but with their definition of what they repeat, of the understanding of what the education or the curriculum was set up for.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next question, Ms. Secretary Rodriguez.
This is on commitment to student achievement. How would you support policies and initiatives aimed at improving academic outcomes and graduation rates for all students, including English learners and those in special education?
What I've done in the community of Hatch is I coordinated with other nonprofit organizations. 3 of the elementaries, one of them receives 10 bikes a year to commit for perfect attendance. Not much as the education, but perfect attendance. If we can show the kids some goals and awards they get at the end, the Hatch has been able to show that. 2 of the other elementaries receive $5,000 of toys to give at the end of the year. One of the things I always talk about the education, and I saw that growing up, is the kids with straight A always get the pat and get the notice. The kids with the C's kind of know that they'll never accomplish that. So I've kind of worked in the community there of, just for being here, 100% attendance, or just for even trying to improve or maintain that score deserves a gift. So I've worked with other nonprofits, which is the Salvation Army. We've donated over $10,000 for the community to award the kids at the end of the year for just being at school.
Okay, next question. Vice President Lira.
Collaboration and governance. Describe your approach to working as a part of a governance team. How would you ensure collaboration and respectful dialogue when difference of opinions arise among board members or with district leadership?
That was one of my key elements in the military. That's why I got promoted to Master Sergeant. A lot of the missions I did, it's not based on what I believe, it's about what we can create as a team. Sometimes our decisions will be different, but as long as you can try to commit your appointment and see if they can change their mind, that's all you could do. But we're all here as a group to try to advance the community. We're not here to fight. We're not here to bring your personal agenda. And that's one of the things I've always taught as a leader is you're not there to change the world. You're there to try to make a difference. And the difference is communicating with the leadership on how we can finally agree to something, like it or not.
Thank you. Okay, this one is on ethics and community representation. How will you balance your personal views with your responsibility to represent the diverse voices of District 4 while adhering to board ethics and policies?
That's something that I live by, is the Bible, which I call the rules and laws. I've always, everywhere I've created or joined a position, I've always asked them, are you sure you want me to be there? Because I'm by the book, what the book says, but the book also has interpretation of the leadership. What does the leadership see as the interpretation, how they identify that, and then convincing each other to kind of share that view. One thing I've always talked about the rules and laws is the reason we have arguments is because somebody might visually see it different than others, but that's what we have to communicate and share those values. But I am one that I will read everything, will learn everything, and will be involved in all the trainings as possible. I love that kind of knowledge. That's why I was a teacher in the military.
Thank you, sir. I gave you a list of conferences. The first sheet are the conferences. We understand we all have jobs. This is a very unique board from other boards within the state. We have a lot of other boards that have board members that are retired, and in this case, all of us, we work. And so it's difficult, but if we plan it right, we try and make an effort to attend. We like to attend as a group. We like the pins, we like the recognition. It's nice, right? Because on top of Gadsden being recognized on everything else that they do, we also want to be recognized that we're part of it. And so with that being said, the first sheet are the national conferences. This year, I think it was implemented 10 hours, right? Am I correct? 10 hours. So 10 hours are mandatory. Once you're done with the 10 hours, then you're good to go. But when we attend all of them, we make over 25 hours a year. And then those, the second page includes all the board meetings that we will be attending. Those, we try to accommodate a little bit with our colleagues, if you need to attend via Zoom, because we understand things happen, but we try to let everybody know that the days that we can be here. So with that being said, is that something that you think that if you're selected that you can attend to?
So I'm retired,
We'll have the
100%
first one.
disabled, military, E8, pay. I get paid pretty good. Everything I've done for the last 13 years, I probably put 20 to 30,000 out of my own pocket to assist the meetings or the programs. I'm one of those, if I run for something, I'm committed. And that's why I've always thought, are you sure you want to do this? 'Cause I am committed, and I haven't done this for a while. And when the opportunity came, I said, you know what, it's another chapter of my life that I'm ready to do and try. So I am fully retired. Knowing the schedule is easy for me to set up.
That's awesome. You'll be the first one of us. With that being said, do you guys have any other questions for him? No? Ms. Flores?
You go ahead. You go first.
I think you're muted, Ms. Flores.
Okay, so my first question is, have you ever served on a board before? And if so, what did you learn from that experience?
I've served, they're not called board veterans, they're called officer positions. I've served in 3 different organizations where I either lifted or changed it. When I was state representative, we were 10th ranked in the nation on the changes I did for veterans organizations.
And then I have 2 more questions regarding budget and resource management. First question is, how would you approach decisions about allocating limited budget resources?
That one is not a trick question, but that is, like I said, it's a group decision and how we see the necessary use and the best need for it. For one individual to say, well, you know, I would handle this or do that, is not what a committee is about. A committee is about organizing together. Now, we might differ different, and I'm hoping to show you what I believe or what I think, but overall, we got to be what we're here for the community, is vote together and show as a strong committee.
And then my last question is, what is your comfort level with reviewing financial documents and making data-driven decisions?
That one is probably one of my biggest plus. When I ran NATO, I had $1 million budgets, and I had to build schools, coliseum, churches, roads. So when I utilized the budget, I always had to look at what was the necessary, what was the most outcome of it, and then kind of rate it on what we need. Everybody wanted and needed, but in reality, I had to look at the overall picture and say, how are we going to move from this year to the next 5 years? But I worked with a lot of budgets. I ran also a GSA fleet, government vehicles, of 58 vehicles.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Flores. Vice President Lira?
Mr. Maldonado, do you have an interest in running in November for election? Because anybody that gets appointed, they only have about 5 months or 5 to 6 months left. So it's a very short commitment. I don't think that anyone that gets appointed is going to have like the true grasp or understanding on the position. So I want to see if your commitment is there to run in the next elections for you to get elected for the seat.
Yes, I do, and that's why I'm here forward today. If you guys are committing to me, then I'm committing to the program itself to advance it. So even though it's only for a few months, I will, if elected, will also be running for November.
Perfect.
Any other questions? Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Maldonado. You have 3 minutes to make a closing statement.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
What I like to make sure that everybody understands about myself, I'm self-motivated. When I get the passion to do something, and this is something that I've been thinking for a while, and the opportunity has come up, and they approached me, and I said, you know what, that's another, we would call in the military a check in the book to do. I've done a lot of political running with the Veterans Organization. I choose to stay away from the political part of it once you get involved. But I think community, I want to really commit to Doñana. I really want to commit in this area. One of the things I failed to tell you guys earlier, part of my bio, I started the pilot program with the district attorney with the Veterans Court. We take veterans out of prison and give them a second chance and redevelop them into the community. That is one of the other projects that I'm still working on. Every one of the projects I've worked on, I have set where somebody else can take my position if I had to leave or go off to any other positions. So any positions that I've explained to you, I've already put a strong leader in that position that all I do is watch them grow and see what they need to assist them. So it will not affect me anywhere in the future of all these other volunteer jobs that I do that I commit, but I do want to commit to this for the next few years, run in the elections and hopefully get seated and see what I can do for the community in this area. I've done it national-wise in other countries, and now it's back to give to my county itself.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mr. Ortega, is there someone else back there that showed up late so we can continue? If not, so we can just call the next person? No? So then we call him. But he said there's no one else in there. Oh, there was someone else in here? Okay, you want to do that? I don't know their names. Okay. You can stay if you
Okay,
would like.
thank you.
Thank you.
Eitel Marrero.
No?
No?
No show. Okay.
No show. Mira. She won a truck. Here. Yeah. Okay. Well, where's she gonna get? Priscilla Guerrero.
Okay.
Imagínate que arregláramos trocas. Ahí está en el casino. Ay, güey, qué bueno que nomás son 4. ¿Cuál saqué, Marlene? ¿No vino? ¿Marlene no vino? ¿Sí vino? ¿Adriana Soto?
I don't think so.
¿Adriana Soto no vino?
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Okay, there's some questions in front of you. You have 3 minutes to look them over, and then the clock will start now. And if you're done before, you can just let me know.
Okay.
See that?
I'm ready.
Okay, you have 3 minutes to make an opening statement.
Okay.
Okay, and go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, members of the board, president. My name is Priscilla Guerrero, and I stand before you today with a commitment to ensure that every child in our district has access to opportunities that enable them to thrive. I believe the foundation for a child to thrive is education. And it's our responsibility to foster an inclusive environment where every child is valued, heard, and respected. And I am dedicated to enhancing the communication between educators, parents, and students, ensuring we work together to create a supportive, enriching environment for the children. I am a long member of Anthony, New Mexico. I'm 5 generations in Anthony, New Mexico, so it means a lot for me to have the opportunity to be a voice for them. So I'm here today for that.
Thank you, ma'am. You're gonna be able to have 3 minutes to answer each question, okay? So with that, can I have Ms. Board Member Flores to start?
What do you believe are the most pressing educational needs or challenges facing students and families in District 4? And how would you advocate for them as a board member?
I believe the top priority will be opportunities for children in the district, being able to provide any opportunity for them to grow educationally, academically, even with their sporting, different things that I seek is something that could be lacking in the district. Even for those elementary students, I think that that could be something to provide the opportunities for them that I've seen. Happy employees, I think, also can foster a big thing for our children. So as we can keep our families happy, our students and our teachers, that's going to create a community as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question is on the commitment to student achievement. How would you support policies and initiatives aimed at improving academic outcomes and graduation rates for all students, including English learners and those in special education?
I'm going to circle back to opportunities and inclusion. I think that can be an important factor in our communities to help our children. Inclusiveness, helping them grow, and giving what they need to succeed.
Thank you.
Collaboration and governance. Describe your approach to working as a part of governance team. How would you ensure collaboration and respectful dialogue when different opinions arise among board members or with district leadership?
Obviously, communication is going to be some of the highlighted issues that we have to have is communication and perspective. Making sure you put yourself in their shoes and understanding where that person is coming from and what they are offering in their vision and how we can collaborate together to come to a happy medium for our families.
Okay, the next one is on ethics and community representation. How will you balance your personal views with your responsibility to represent the diverse voices of District 4 while adhering to board ethics and policies?
I'm going to say here, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. So as a person in the community, obviously I have experienced a lot of the issues that go along, so I think I'm going to have a good voice as far as being able to be loyal to those families and helping them with those issues.
Thank you. I have there's I don't know, did she receive 2 of those? Okay, so You received a list of meetings that we have. The first page are the national conferences and conferences that we attend as a group. We do like to attend those, all of us as a group. We receive awards if a whole board attend a certain amount of hours. The minimum required is 10, but we like to attend most of them. And then the second page are the board meetings. Is that something that could fit your schedule? Most of us, we work, and so we try to accommodate to our working schedule and also with our families. But is this a commitment that you think that you will be able to commit to?
This is most definitely a commitment that I can commit to. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Ms. Flores?
Okay. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, same questions that I asked the gentleman. And the first one is, have you ever served on a board before? And if so, what did you learn from that experience?
I have never served on a board before. I have been a very advocate with watching you all on the board and trying to stay present, but I've never been a board member, no.
Okay. And then the next question is budget and resource management. How would you approach decisions about allocating limited budget resources?
The what, I'm sorry?
How would you approach decisions about allocating limited budget resources?
Obviously, seeing the priorities of what is going to be the most prioritizing. Prioritizing the importance is going to be the top issue that we have to see is where are we lacking at the end of the day.
Okay. And my last question is, what is your comfort level with reviewing financial documents and making data-driven decisions?
I'm comfortable with that. I like numbers, so hopefully that'll be beneficial to me.
Thank you.
I do have one. I do have one question. Do you plan to run this November? Since it's a short appointment on this seat, you only have about 5 or 6 months left. Is it a desire for you to run on the next election?
Yes, I'm here for the long run. I want to be a voice for families and advocate for them, so I would most definitely like to continue that journey.
Thank you. Okay, you can stay if you wish. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You had 3 minutes to do a closing statement. I apologize.
No, you're
okay,
fine.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, in closing, I just want to emphasize that our children are our future, and their futures are based on the decisions that we make as a board. I am passionate about bringing initiatives that prioritize opportunities for students, that strengthen inclusion, and promote dialogue within the community. Together, I believe that we could build a school environment where every child feels empowered to achieve their fullest potential, and I ask for your support in this endeavor to strive to be a voice for the families and advocate for their future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You can stay if you wish. We will continue the interview process. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Lira.
Marenna Zimmerman.
No? Yes? Oh. Okay.
But I mean, honestly, right now it's better.
Hi, good evening. Okay, so you have a set of questions, and you have 3 minutes to review them. So we're going to start the clock, and then you will hear the beep. If you're done before, you can just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Zimmerman, time is up. You have now 3 minutes to do your opening statement, okay? And then again, it will beep whenever it's done, or if you're done before, then you can let us know,
All
okay?
right, well, thank you for being here today and taking the time to interview us. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous. My name is Marenna Zimmerman, and I am a lifelong resident of the Gadsden Independent School District. I attended Gadsden. I have several family members. I have several family members that were educators, my mother and my father, so I come from a long line of educators. I myself have 27 years of experience in education. My children attend Gadsden. I have 2 beautiful girls. My oldest graduated this past May, and my youngest is still in school, and it is because of them that I am here today. In my current position, I am the Science and Innovative Learning Coordinator at a nearby district. As such, I work both with classroom teachers, I work with the school board, with administration. I work with all levels of education and all grade levels. So I feel that I bring a lot of knowledge. I know that there's a lot that I still am going to learn, but I feel that I can make a positive impact for the students of Gadsden.
Thank you. Okay, you're gonna have 3 minutes to answer each question. So with that, we will start with Board Member Flores.
Good afternoon. What do you believe are the most pressing educational needs or challenges facing students and families in District 4? And how would you advocate for them as a board member?
I think that no matter who the parent or guardian is, we all want the best education that we can get for our kids. And so I feel that having a well-rounded education and opportunities, I mean, of course, academics is first and foremost, but it's not what keeps the kids in class interested. You have to have balance. The STEM initiatives, I know that Gadsden is doing the Lego Science Initiative. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic because it keeps the kids interested. It teaches them how to be problem solvers. I feel that we want to give them the absolute best education and make sure that our teachers are well-trained and knowledgeable in their content area, but we also need to make sure that it's balanced. Academics, sports, and not just the sports, but the other clubs that other kids are interested in as well. Yearbook, mother-daughter clubs, whatever we can do to make sure that no matter who the child is, there's something for them there at that school that makes them want to be there.
Thank you.
Okay, regarding commitment to student achievement, how would you support policies and initiatives aimed at improving academic outcomes and graduation rates for all students, including English learners and those in special education?
There are so many different studies in education, but all of them lead to the same thing, that the most important influence on student achievement is the classroom teacher. And so by making sure that our classroom teachers have the tools and training that they need in the classroom, that is going to help all students. Your strategies that help your ESL, your emergent bilingual students, your SPED students, any of those strategies that teachers are trained in, they also help your average students and your high achievers as well. So making sure that teachers have the training in these strategies would be first and foremost. I think it's also important to continue to be competitive in pay for the teachers, and also especially for special education. It is so hard to fill those positions right now, and so making sure that our district remains competitive and provides the training that our students, our teachers and our students need. That way, we can make sure that those special education positions remain filled.
Thank you.
Collaboration and governance. Describe your approach to working as a part of a governance team. How will you ensure collaboration and respectful dialogue when difference of opinions arise among board members or district leadership?
As I mentioned, I have been an educator for 27 years, and I have worked at all levels. I work with classroom teachers. I worked in the classroom teaching science for 17 years, so I talk to parents. I talk to community members when I'm seeking resources for our district. It's just always keeping in mind that no matter what the difference in agreement might be, all of us have the same number one priority, and that is doing what's best for our children, for the students that we serve. I know that in the last few years that sometimes your school board meetings can get a little bit heated, And it's just always, remember, have that sign in front of me, the students come first, to make sure that no matter what I say or what I do, every decision that I make is keeping in mind the students. They're the priority. And sometimes it's nice to be able to have, more than one opinion, because that means that people are passionate and we can make sure that we listen to all voices in order to come up with a good common consensus that serves our students best.
Thank you. Okay, this one is on ethics and community representation. How will you balance your personal views with your responsibility to represent the diverse voices of District 4 while adhering to board ethics and policies?
I feel that I am very professional in how I speak to parents, community members, students. I have a lot of experience in doing so. I also don't feel that I lean towards any, I don't have any very strong personal views in any one way or the other than knowing that, my children are here, and I want to make sure that the conversations that are happening in the board meetings, they should mostly be about student achievement. 90 to 95% of the conversations that we have should be about how to improve things for our kids. I don't have any political or any extreme views. Other than that, I feel that I would be able to work with anyone, no matter what their views are, and no matter what my personal views are. I feel I can be professional. I have been a professional educator for a very long time, and I don't think I've ever had any instance where I guess, get into confrontations or anything like that. I just, remember to stay calm, and just remember, no matter how passionate somebody else gets, that it's because they want, what's best. I mean, sometimes when you get a little bit heated and the people speaking tend to get a little bit heated, we just have to remember it's because they have someone that's important to them, and that's who they're advocating for.
Thank you. In front of you is also two lists. One of them, the first one is the conferences that we attend as a group. We only have to make 10 hours, which is, I think, about 2 conferences, but we like to attend them as a group throughout the year. And then the second page, there are all the board meetings that that we have here. We do try to accommodate with Zoom meetings, because we don't understand things happen, right? And you can be here in person, so you have that. But with that being said, if I don't know if you had a chance to look it over, do you think that with your job, as we all have jobs ourselves, do you think that's something that you could be able to attend?
As long as I have everything up front, like you see here, then I can always make arrangements. My job is very flexible, so if I do need to take some time off in order to come in, I can go in a little bit earlier to my work in order to get out early. I just like you have it here all planned out, just knowing I will be able to attend when I need to.
Okay, thank you. Questions, Ms. Flores?
So my first question is, have you ever served on a board before? And if so, what did you learn from that experience?
I have never served in a board before, but I have attended several board meetings. In my school district, I've attended here at Gadsden a few times, especially when my daughters are being presented at some time. I'm going to be honest with you. I have always thought about being on the board. I thought, now that I'm nearing my retirement time, I was thinking, how can I continue to give back to my community? And I felt that this was the perfect opportunity because I, could see, try it. Not that I'm, it would be, I would think of it as a temporary thing. I mean, I would give it my all if I am chosen. But I did want to see, if this is a good fit because, no, I don't have any experience actually serving as a board member.
Thank you. My last two questions are regarding budget and resource management. So the first question is, how would you approach decisions about allocating limited budget resources?
I'm sorry, how would I what?
How would you approach decisions about allocating limited budget resources?
I guess it would depend on what the choices are. Every scenario is going to be different, and we're always going to have to deal with limited resources. We'd have to look to see, I guess I have to carefully look at what's in front of us to see, okay, where are we going to go with this? But it should always be on where it's going to make the most impact on student achievement. That's really hard for me to answer without, some scenarios to kind of, see which way would I go. But right now, all of the districts everywhere have been, tightening budgets. Everything's getting more expensive, and we're having less funds to do everything with. Just recently, Gadsden said that they were not going to be able to buy the school supplies for kids like they've done in the past because the amount of federal money is being reduced. So just always, when we look at our choices, where is the money going to make the biggest impact and serve the most students?
Okay, and my final question is, what is your comfort level with reviewing financial documents and making data-driven decisions?
I am very comfortable with it. I feel that I am, I'm a science teacher. I am very technical, and I deal with numbers all the time. I, budget my own household. I feel that everything that is discussed, in an open boardroom would be, discussed and open, but anytime that we are just looking at financial documents or we're doing things that are not part of an open session, that we would have to have a lot of confidentiality and make sure that we adhere to, the proper ethics when looking and reviewing these things. But I don't feel that I would have any trouble understanding the documents in front of me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Lira.
Let me see, where did I have it written? Do you plan to run in November on these next elections? Just because it's a short
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Is it in your plans to run in the next elections in November? This is a short you're going to get appointed for such a short amount of time, and I want to just make sure that there's a commitment from any candidate to run on the next elections, or you're just wanting to see if it's something that you like and then decide.
Like I said, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know if I would run. I want, I thought that this would be a good opportunity to serve my community, serve the school board for a time, and see if it was the proper fit for me. If I feel that it is a proper fit for me, then yes, I would run. But at this time, to be honest with you, never having that actual experience, I don't know.
Thank you. Okay, you can go ahead and, I'm sorry, I apologize. You have 3 minutes to do a closing statement.
Okay.
Time's now.
Other than being nervous, I hope I answered the questions that you had. I just want you to know that if selected, I am going to do my best to serve our students. Seeing as I have my own children here, I want what's best for our kids. In my own school district, I have recently copied Gadsden by, when I saw that Lego program, I went out and I secured a grant for our school district so that we could start it in our school district as well. I like innovation in learning, and I want to make sure that we continue to be, first and foremost, when it comes to innovative learning here at Gadsden. I think that we really do have some innovative programs compared to the neighboring school districts, and I want to make sure that we continue that.
Thank you. You can go ahead and take a seat, and then we will continue with the interview process.
Thank
Okay?
you.
You want to call the next ones?
Adrián Soto.
No? Okay, so no show. Okay, so that concludes all the candidates. So board members, now that the interviews are complete, I will give you a few minutes, if you can put 3 minutes, please, to rank the candidates. Okay, you can start it.
No, y si lo hago mal yo.
Okay, you guys ready? Yes? All done? No, I don't have the blank one. Okay. Okay, I will now ask each board member to state their rankings from 1 to 4, with 1 being your first choice and 4 being your last choice. We will then tally their rankings, and the qualified candidate who receives the lowest ranking will be named to fill the vacancy of the board. If there is a tie, then I will ask the board to re-rank just those candidates with a tie score and state the re-ranking of those candidates. We're gonna have Secretary Rodriguez to make sure that, to do the tallies, okay? Okay, so, Rogelio Maldonado. Ms. Flores, what, do you want to do it? Go ahead. Sorry, do it.
So I'm going to give you my ranking, right, for Rogelio? Okay, 3.
Priscilla Guerrero.
Oh, mine? For mine? 2.
We're going to go ahead and 1.
Should we do it?
Just all of them?
Then Christian Lira.
3.
Arlene Murillo.
3.
The next one, right?
¿De qué? Como que uno, ¿no?
Madam President, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to clarify that there was only 3 candidates, so you're only ranking them 1, 2, and 3. 3 being your least favorite, 1 being your most favorite, and obviously 2 in the middle. Okay, I just wanted to reiterate that.
Thank you.
Okay, do you mind, with that said, Rogelio Maldonado is 2 on mine. Christian Lira, for the record.
Okay, so then I have for Rogelio Maldonado, President Murillo, a 3, Christian Lira, a 2, Laura Salazar, a 3, and myself is a 1. All right, for Ms. Priscilla Guerrero, Ms. Flores,
2.
Mr. Lira,
1.
Ms. Murillo,
1.
and I have a 3. And for Ms. Marenna Zimmerman, Ms. Flores,
1.
Mr. Lira,
2. I'm sorry, 3. 3.
3 for Mr. Lira, and Ms. Murillo,
3.
and myself, a 2.
Madam President, members of the board, I'm going to repeat the scores, and then you just confirm, okay? For candidate Rogelio Maldonado, I have A. Murillo, 3, C. Lira, 2, C. Rodriguez, 1, Al Salazar, 3, with a total of 9.
That's correct.
For Priscilla Guerrero, I have A. Murillo, 1, C. Lira, 1, C. Rodriguez, 3, and Al Salazar, 2, with a total of 7.
That is correct.
And then for Marenna Zimmerman, I have A. Murillo, 3, C. Lira, 3, C. Rodriguez, 2, Al Salazar, 1. That's a total of 9. So you have a tie between 2 candidates, between Rogelio Maldonado and Marenna Zimmerman. So you will rescore between 1 and 2, each candidate.
Thank you.
Sure. You have a tie between Marenna Zimmerman and between Rogelio Maldonado. So now you're only going to score those 2 candidates, either a 1 or a 2, 1 being your least favorite, 2, make sure I get that right, sorry.
Hold on, because I'm seeing individual with the lowest score is the highest rank, so we have a 7.
That's true.
That is correct.
Okay, because I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah? No?
Yep. Yep. So even though there's a tie,
You're right.
Ms. Guerrero has the lowest.
My apologies, I'm trying to guide you and I'm making it more confusing.
No, Ms. Guerrero has, according to the rules, Ms. Guerrero is the candidate.
I'm sorry?
So on the grand total, it's going to be opposite of the way we ranked them? Is that correct?
So you're correct. The lowest score is your winner.
Yes? We're all good? No? Why? The by preference 1 through 4, with 1 being the first choice and 4 being their last choice. It's the same. Did I confuse that?
When you scored them, you were scoring the highest score being your favorite or the lowest score being your favorite?
The lowest score being the favorite?
So the 1 was the number 1 choice for us as individuals, correct? So the 1, yeah,
Yes?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we're all good? Yes?
So,
No?
so if everybody scored with that fidelity, in 1 being your first choice, 2 being your second, and 3 being your third choice, then the scoring is correct.
Yeah? Okay, sounds good. Okay, so then Ms. Guerrero, congratulations. And, okay, so now moving on to 6, consideration and possible action to appoint Gadsden ISD Board of Education to position 4. Do I hear a motion? Someone?
So moved, Madam President, to what you said.
To appoint Ms.
Ms.
Guerrero?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Flores has made,
You want me to make it?
go ahead, yes.
Okay, Madam President,
thing.
I'd like to make a motion that
motion.
the Gadsden Independent Schools, School District School Board appoints, following the candidate ranking procedure, Priscilla Guerrero to fill the vacancy of District 4.
Okay, so Ms. Flores has made a motion. Ms. Delgado, can you please take roll call?
Board President Murillo,
Yes.
Board Vice President Lira,
Aye. Yes.
Board Secretary Rodriguez,
No.
¿Y yo?
Oh, sorry.
Board Member Flores.
Sí.
Okay, with that, it passes. Congratulations. Next, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn
Okay,
today's
Ms.
special board meeting.
Has made a motion to adjourn. It is 5:11. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for everybody for being here, staff, for helping us out.
I don't know what was that about.